Welcome everyone. These are uncertain times, unprecedented times. When we were launching this program and when you were taking admission in these programs, little did we realize that we will be staring a pandemic in the face. But here we are, fighting COVID-19 and trying to keep pace with everything that we can, probably. So I am Dr. Shikha Rai. I am the program coordinator of Postgraduate Diploma in Journalism and Mass Communication, which has been revised and launched in a totally new avatar, and also the first year of Master's Program in Journalism and Mass Communication. I am a faculty with the School of Journalism and New Media Studies in IGNOU, and I take this privilege of welcoming you all to the induction program of the PGJMC and MAJMC of School of Journalism and New Media Studies. So let us begin from the beginning. A lot of people have been having problems and queries regarding how we will go about this program. Precisely, that is the reason why we're having this induction program. And just to begin, I would like to introduce you to the program objectives of both these programs of the school. We are basically aiming at providing opportunities to those who are working in media organizations to enhance their knowledge and skills for their development. And we are also aiming at producing professionals who, after graduating, are able to work in mass media organizations. And then we also aim at creating a better understanding of the role of mass media in the society. A lot of you have been posting comments and queries regarding the course material of these two programs. Yes, these two are different programs, but in some manner they are quite similar. And that is PGJMC, the Postgraduate Diploma in Journalism and Mass Communication, also forms the first year of MA in Journalism and Mass Communication. So need not worry. Whatever you're seeing in the IGNOU, the repository of the university, is all the same material that master students also have to go through. Now, to begin with, I would also like to introduce you to the credit system that IGNOU has. Each credit system in a distance university amounts to 30 hours of study. And when we say credits, it comprises of different learning activities, including assignments and listening to audio programs, watching audiovisual programs, and doing any other activity as suggested in the study material. Now take a 4-credit course. A 4-credit course amounts to 120 hours of study. And knowing the number of credits for each course is helpful to you as a student because you get an idea about the academic effort required for successfully completing a course. So the PGJMC program consists of 32 credits, which means 960 study hours. And they have been equally distributed in 8 courses. I will now take you through the program structure of this. This is the MA first year as well as PGJMC program structure. Now you can see there are certain course codes which are given on the left side in the slide, and the course titles are given. Each course you can see is of 4 credit each. So there are 6 theory courses followed by 2 practical courses. Now let me lead you through this. The first is MGM 020, which is an introduction to journalism and mass communication. It has 4 blocks in it, beginning with the introduction to communication, whereby we're trying to give you some idea of what we understand by communication in academia and what are the various models and theories that you make use of when you study as a student of communication, and also some bit of communication research. The next block, which is the evolution of mass media, deals with the history of journalism and mass communication, the print media per se, the language journalism, how it has evolved and where it has led, and the development of television, radio, and the emergence of digital media. Alongside, there are 2 more blocks which deal with ownership and organizational structures of mass media. As students of mass communication, it is essential for you to understand the economics that goes into this. So ownership patterns of media is important to know and understand. So also there are various other units like the media organizations of the government, the educational media, which largely talks about how media, say for example in IGNOU, works, and then the Indian film industry. The last block talks about the integrated marketing communication. Communication is used in a wide way, in a very broad way, to market products and services. So the next 4 units are dedicated totally to that. They talk about advertising, they talk about public relations and corporate communication, they talk about event management, and to integrate them all, they talk about the integrated marketing communications. Then we come to the reporting techniques. This is a course which will largely acquaint you with news concepts and how to report on various beats. The first block will be an introductory block which will talk about news concepts. So it will talk about the definitions, the news sources, how do we go about making news, so on and so forth. The second block would be on reporting techniques. This will talk about the types of news reporting. What is it that you as a journalist are supposed to grasp and gain? And when you go into the field, what are the various types of news reporting you come across? And then it also deals with the research that goes as a journalist when you're making a story. And then the interviews that you hold as a journalist, the various tools and techniques that are used for it, and understanding data journalism, which is the talk of town everywhere. Data is a big word today. We all understand its importance. So this unit will acquaint you with what goes into data journalism. There are 2 more blocks in this. They comprise of beat reportings. And they have been divided into 2 blocks, in fact. Beat is the area in which you report, like political, civic, crime, sports, legal, social issues, health and education, lifestyle, so on and so forth. So all these beats have been segregated and broken into 2 blocks. So you will get a hang of largely all the beats that you will face, that you will be covering when you go into the field. And those of you who are working journalists and are doing this for gaining a degree, you would very well be acquainted with all the other beats that are associated with it. The next course deals with writing and editing for print media. Now, writing skills are very important for any communication professional, be it a journalist, be it a public relations personnel, a filmmaker, anything. So these 4 blocks of this course are dedicated to writing and editing. The writing skills covers the basics of writing and writing effectively, writing for print media, and also there is one standalone unit on translation. Because largely it is required that you in the field should be at least bilingual. If not more languages, you should be very proficient in English as well as Hindi. So this unit is going to help you with that. The next block is on analytical writing. Analytical writing deals with all those things that goes into reading between the lines. Like when you write an analysis, a news analysis. So you break facts into making sense of it, making meaning for the public at large. So there are a few units dedicated to analytical writing like feature writing, opinion writing, editorial writing, and writing for magazines. The third block is on editing, which covers headline and lead writing, principles of editing, and photojournalism. And the last block deals with layout and designing. This covers page layout, principles of page design, typography and image, and infographics. Again, infographics is a new term that you will be acquainted with. It talks about all the line drawings that are put into place in order to create a mental picture. And that's there in our newspapers, on and off, we keep seeing them. So infographics is one subject, one topic that we decided to discuss. On the whole, you will find these programs very holistic in nature. We've tried to cover the latest, and we've tried that nothing gets omitted in the process. And of course, they've been written by credible names in the industry and academia in the country. Then we have MJM 023, which is broadcast and online journalism. We all understand the importance of broadcast and online, though print forms the basis of everything. So the first block here is dedicated exclusively to radio journalism and how radio is a sound medium, how do you write for radio, news gathering process, and news production and presentation techniques. So also for TV journalism, we have discussed TV as an audiovisual medium and what sets it apart and what is the USP, the unique selling proposition of any medium. And then we're talking about writing for television, we're talking about TV news, content production and presentation techniques for the television. The third block largely deals with online journalism, which is very important these days. And it covers the basic elements of online journalism and writing for online media. You will also be taught how online newsroom setup works and the content production for online media. The production of news website. With this, probably by the time you come to the end of the program, you should be proficient and skilled enough to be able to run your own websites and write for the online medium in various capacities. The next course that we have here is MJM 024, which is the course code of Media and Society. A very important course from the point of view that every communicator, whichever field you're a part of, if you're a part of marketing or you're a part of journalism or you're a part of event management and public relations or film and documentary making, everywhere you have to keep the basic underpinnings intact. So this course is basically supposed to develop an understanding amongst the learners of what kind of role media plays in the society, where it can go wrong, and what is it that is associated by the society when we talk about media, and what role does it play in the social development. So the first block deals with mass media and society, where it talks about understanding media and society, what media audiences are like, the nuances of media literacy, and mass media policies. The second block is again an important block which deals with media and development. It talks about development concepts and theories. It talks about development communication. It also speaks about social and behavioral change communication. We know there are a lot of international organizations, NGOs, that are working in the sector of development. And together, as a society, we do develop. We're different from what we were, say, 20 years back. Our outlook to education has totally changed. So what is it that brings about development? What is it that brings about social and behavioral change? This is called SBCC, Social and Behavioral Change Communication. So the next 2 units are exclusively dedicated to that. And the other 2 blocks are on media and contemporary issues, whereby we are dealing more with the development issues that a society faces vis-a-vis the media. So we're talking about media and health issues, we're talking about education, gender, which is so important these days, environment and human rights. Then we're also talking about international and intercultural communication. The world no more is an island, every society is no more an island of its own. They are all interconnected in a varied manner. So the international and intercultural communication helps you gauge through what are the nuances and how do you handle them in an international scenario. Then it also talks about technological revolution and globalization of media. And then another important concept of alternative media pitches in. So with that, we come to the end of MJM 024. And then we have MJM 025, which is Media Ethics and Laws, another pertinent, very important course when we talk about communication profession. So the first block here deals with media ethics. What do we understand by media ethics? What are the principles of media ethics? What is new media and what are the ethical concerns we are facing with the advent of new media, digital media, so on and so forth? A number of them you must already be knowing. You will be acquainted with more and in depth when you read this. And then there are media ethics and self-regulation, why self-regulation for media has become an important issue today, and the new media and ethical issues. The second block deals with the media laws. It talks about primarily the Indian Constitution and the media laws and the constitutional framework that we have with us. Then it also talks about the media laws and regulatory framework. The initiatives in media laws are also attended to here. And the third and fourth block of this course deal with the laws of information and advertising and PR ethics and laws. When we talk about, we all know how information has become very important in today's world. So information is power. Intellectual property rights is one area that we would like the learners to delve in, followed by the copyright law, which is again very important, especially in the academic world, so also in the profession, say for example advertising. Cyber law, what should we do and what should we not do? Like say for example, during this time of the pandemic, the government has said that passing on of messages through WhatsApp, unverified information and fake information will be punishable and action would be taken. So this is again a kind of cyber law. So how do you deal with cyber commodities? And then how do you pass it on? And how do you exchange it? The way you consume it. All of it is suddenly very important these days. And then of course the right to information. This is not very new, but nevertheless it is highly relevant. And then the last block deals with advertising and PR ethics and laws. Advertising per se, and in particular because as media students or as people who've been watching media closely, you would have observed that a lot of time people talk about, say for example, commodification of women. They talk about human rights of children who are into advertising or who work with web series, serials, so on and so forth. So what do we advertise? And when we advertise, other than shouting from the rooftop, what is that basic information that must not be messed up with, that must be authentic, that you cannot give another shape to? So that is advertising ethics and laws. It also has PR ethics and laws as one of the components. And the last one, of course, is case studies, which will be based on advertising and PR laws. So, with that, we come to the end of the course components that would be covered in the theory courses, the 6 theory courses of the 2 programs. Now what we have with us are 2 practical programs. One practical course is print and online, and the other practical is audio-visual. Now there will be a practical manual which will soon be in place, and when I tell you about the Google Classrooms, this practical manual will be displayed in the program guide section of the Google Classroom. I will just talk about it in some time. And what you will be actually required to do is prepare a production portfolio. The activities will be listed which you will have to complete and submit to the study center, and the activities will largely be application oriented. So say for example, you have learned how to write a legal report. We would ask you to prepare a legal report, and maybe as part of TV presentation techniques, we would ask you to present it and record it. So ideally, activities would be the application of theory that you have learned in the previous 5 courses. And it will also amount to some kind of skill development. Also, it will be transacted through TCs, teleconferencing, and interactive radio counseling and Google Classrooms. You would be knowing that IGNOU is one university, national university of repute, which has its own satellite. So we have our own Gyan Darshan and Gyan Vani, through which we can provide technology-based counseling to the students. And the evaluation for these practicals would be the same pattern as which IGNOU follows. 30% would be on Viva, and 70% would be based on the portfolio that you make depending on the activities that you've got. So this is about the practical. And all the detailed rules and regulations, what you're expected to do, all the guidelines will soon be uploaded, maybe by the end of April, in the practical manual, which will be in the Google Classroom. Now, you have just seen what the entire program looks like, what is the coverage area, and the only idea of sharing this with you was that you should be able to know what we at the end of the teachers are expecting from you as learners, and what is the area, the coverage area of the program. So you would be able to figure out where you stand in this. Now I will take you through the unit design. A unit, you have just seen when we were discussing the program structure that we are running through various blocks. So every course is like a subject, and this subject has been broken into 4 components which we call the blocks. Every block in turn has certain units in it, mostly 4 to 6 in fact. So what is it that the unit contains? The unit is basically a chapter or a lesson. It begins with describing the unit structure, and it gives you an idea of what you will find as you proceed through the unit. Then you have the introduction, whereby we try and introduce you to the concept that is being discussed in the lesson. And then we have the learning outcomes. The learning outcomes are the objectives that we think you should meet after going through that unit. So everywhere you would see, after going through this unit or after studying this unit, you should be able to. So those are important components. You should be able to meet those objectives. Then there are sections and subsections which will describe the coverage area of that unit or lesson. And then there are certain check your progress questions. Okay, I would also like to clarify here, there have been a number of you have already enrolled in our Google Classrooms. Almost more than 50% of people, and the others are expected to join soon. So we have been getting queries as to whether the check your progress questions have to be submitted. The answer is no. They are self-check questions, the answers to which have also been provided at the end of the unit. So it is basically that you read certain sections and then you test yourself as to what you have grasped and how much have you learned out of those sections. So it is only to give you a break and check what you have grasped. Then you also would come across 1 or 2 activities in every unit, which will require you to do some warm-up exercise or to test whatever you have learned in that section or subsection. And then of course we have a concluding paragraph, let us sum up, followed by the keywords. Now keywords are those technical terms, they will not be present in every unit, but wherever they are, there can be some technical terms which have been used in the lesson. So we've tried to keep them in this section of keywords so that you can quickly browse through and figure out what the meaning is. Then we have put up some further reading session. There are times when people are interested in knowing and learning more about a subject that we have discussed, because we have our own limitations. We have tried to keep our lessons within 5,000 to 6,000 words. So beyond that, if you're eager to learn, there is a section called further readings, which will guide you through. And then of course the CYP possible answers, the check your progress possible answers are given, and that is the end of every unit. Now, other necessary information, this information has been included because of the various queries that the learners have raised in the Google Classroom platform. The first one is assignment. I know a lot of you are very worried about your assignments, and we keep getting regular emails and queries in the Google Classroom about it. Please do not worry. You will have ample time to prepare your assignments, number one. And there is, people have been asking if there is a last date of 30th April to be adhered to. No. Kindly pay attention to the study material first. You will find ample time, and we are in the process of preparing our academic calendar. Once our academic calendar is in place, we will inform you suitably through emails, through the Google Classroom and everything. So you need not worry at this juncture about your assignment preparation. You please carry on with reading the study material, all of which is uploaded in the IGNOU website. I'll tell you where. So that's about the last date. And another thing is there are no practical assignment for the practical courses. There are no assignments for the practical courses. The practical course has its own activities which will be listed for you and which you will have to complete and submit as a portfolio at the time of examination, but there would be no assignments the way the theory courses will carry an assignment. And there will be one assignment per course. So a course is of 4 credits, and there will be one assignment attached to a 4-credit course, which means 4 blocks. And to simplify this, the assignment would have largely 5 questions, and the word limit is most of the times indicated against the question that has been listed there. Why most of the times? Because there can be an assignment which asks you to write a news report. Now, we don't want you to write a huge essay kind of an article. We also don't want it to be as crisp as 100 words. So we leave it open for you to be able to, judge on your own and write a proper news report. Then IGNOU likes it this way, that the students submit handwritten assignments so that they can be scanned, they will be scanned and they will be emailed. So what you're required to do is, even if you're preparing your assignment at this point of time, please first go through all the course material. Once the courseware you've gone through, then you start attempting the assignments and keep them there. You will soon be communicated where to scan and email it to. Then, yes, the submission of assignments. People were asking questions about submission of assignments. It is necessary to submit the assignment for which you're going to take the term end examination. So say for example, you're going to take the exam of MJM 020 Introduction to Journalism and Mass Communication. It will be important that you submit the assignment first, and then you will be able to sit for the term end examination of MJM 020. Assignments would amount to some 30% of the total marks that you gain, and the term end examination will be for 70% of the total marks. There were also queries regarding exam form submission. Please do not worry. At this juncture, we are not so much bothered about the exam form submission. Assignment comes first, and before that comes your courseware. Please start reading and please start going through the courseware, after which you will attempt the assignments. And again, exam form submission will also be, the last date has not been disclosed so far, because the academic calendar of the university is yet being changed, and once it is finalized, we will definitely communicate it to you. There were a few queries about the full material availability. A lot of you who have enrolled in the Google Classrooms would have seen that there's just 1 or 2 units which have been uploaded in the Google Classrooms for each course. We have not uploaded the full material. If you want to access the full material still, it is all available in IGNOU. And here you can see a link of the university website, and in this link you can find it. I can also guide you through. If you open www.ignou.ac.in, please click IGNOU. From there you go to IGNOU self-learning material. Then click the link of School of Journalism and New Media Studies, and you will be taken to a link which reads levels. Once you click on levels, you will go to diploma programs. There will be 2 kinds of programs listed there, certificate programs and diploma programs. Click the diploma programs and then click current. There is some material which has been archived, and there is some material which is pertaining to the current programs, which has been placed under the current section. Click current and then you will go to sub-communities. Amongst the sub-communities, postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication has been listed. Please click PGJMC, and this is also for MA first year students. Please do not be confused. Please do not think that there will be another course material. This is the same course material for PGJMC as well as MA first year. Okay, so once you click PGJMC, you will come across JMC 1, 2, 3 and 4 and MJM 020 to 025. So JMC 01, 2, 3, 4, those 4 papers you don't have to touch. It is basically meant for old learners. So people who have been enrolled till July 2019 will go through that courseware. Your course begins from MJM 020, the program structure of which I shared with you in the beginning of my presentation. So those 6 theory courses are your courseware. And the material, of course, is the same for MAJMC. And I would also like to explain here that we have a system of lateral entry and exit. You must be wondering why we have 2 programs with the same course component, same program structure. The reason is distance education is a flexible system of education. So we provide a lateral entry as well as a lateral exit. So after doing these 32 credits, if somebody is not in a position to go over to the second year of master's program, you can take a lateral exit. So you go out with postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication certificate. At some point of time, when you feel like doing the second year of the program, you can come back and take admission right in the second year of MA. You don't have to do the first year of the MA program. So that ways, this is called lateral entry. So that ways we have kept a provision for both lateral entry as well as lateral exit. And that is why the courseware of both the programs stays the same. Now, let me take you to Google Classrooms. What you would see in the PowerPoint as of now is 5 Google Classrooms. These are actually 5 different pages, 5 different links. The first one is program guide, and the other 4 are the various courses that I just discussed some time back. So it is about introduction to journalism and mass communication, it is about reporting techniques, writing and editing for print media, broadcast and online journalism, and others as well. Now, you would wonder, why do we have 2 separate sections for the program guide? We have one for PGJMC program guide and another for MAJMC program guide. We have titled it program guide. This is basically to entertain your queries or observations or anything else that you have to express regarding the general transaction of the program, your queries in general about the program, which are not academic in nature and which pertain to various questions like assignment submission or exams and such other queries. So we have something called program guide PGJMC and program guide MAJMC. Other than these, there are classrooms, the 6 classrooms, one for each theory course. Now, one of you, there are many learners, around 50% of the learners who already joined the Google Classrooms, and one of you has prepared this. I felt like sharing it. How to join the Google Classrooms. So it tells you about how do you download. Basically, there are 3 basic steps. And what are those? You download either through your iPhones or through your Android phones. Download Google Classroom. And once you've downloaded it, you open it and you will see a plus sign in the extreme right top corner of the app, Google Classroom app. And there you will have the option of joining. So there have been certain program codes which are also indicated here in this slide. There are certain program codes given for every course that you join, because every course has a different classroom dedicated to it. So you write that in the panel which says join and then click, and you will be able to join as a student in that Google Classroom. Now I would like to run a small video, a demo video. It will help you look at how you can join these Google Classrooms. It will bring greater clarity. And this will also be posted in the Google Classrooms and in your emails. So let's just look at it.
So this was the small video which will basically give you a demo of how to go about joining your Google Classrooms. And the link has also been shared here in the PowerPoint. I would request all of you, all the learners of both PGJMC as well as MAJMC to kindly go ahead and join the Google Classrooms. Half of you have already done it. Those of you who haven't, kindly go ahead because henceforth we will be transacting all our course curriculum through the Google Classrooms.